Welcome to Passion Travel. Join us as we explore fascinating destinations, uncover hidden gems, and embark on unforgettable journeys. Subscribe now and ignite your passion for travel. Kjøttkaker, traditional Norwegian meatballs, often served with potatoes, gravy, and vegetables. They might also be served in a bun. To prepare kjøttkaker, Norwegian meatballs, you'll need a few basic ingredients for the meatballs themselves as well as for the gravy. Here's a typical recipe. Ingredients for kjøttkaker, meatballs. For the meatballs: 500 g ground beef, you can also mix with pork for a juicier texture. 1 small onion, finely chopped. 1 egg. Half a cup breadcrumbs. Half a cup milk or a little more, depending on the consistency of the mixture. Salt, to taste. Black pepper, to taste. 1 teaspoon ground nutmeg, optional, but traditional. 1 teaspoon ground ginger, optional, for flavor. Butter, for frying. For the gravy: 2 tablespoons butter. 2 tablespoons flour. 3 to 4 cups beef or vegetable stock, depending on desired gravy thickness. Salt, to taste. Black pepper, to taste. 1 to 2 tablespoons soy sauce, optional, for deeper color and flavor. 1 teaspoon sugar, optional, to balance the flavors. Instructions. Prepare the meatball mixture. In a bowl, mix together the ground beef, finely chopped onion, egg, breadcrumbs, and milk. Season with salt, pepper, and optional nutmeg and ginger. Use your hands or a spoon to mix until everything is well combined and the mixture is smooth. Shape the meatballs. Wet your hands with water to make it easier to shape the meatballs. Take a portion of the meat mixture and roll it into round or oval shapes, about the size of a golf ball. Fry the meatballs. Heat butter in a large skillet over medium heat. Fry the meatballs in batches, browning them on all sides until they are cooked through, about 10 to 12 minutes, depending on size. Remove the meatballs from the skillet and set them aside. Make the gravy. In the same skillet, add 2 tablespoons of butter and melt it over medium heat. Add the flour and stir continuously to create a roux, a thick paste. Gradually add the beef or vegetable stock while stirring to avoid lumps. Continue to stir until the gravy thickens to your liking. Season with salt, pepper, soy sauce, and a touch of sugar if you like. Return the meatballs to the gravy and simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes, allowing the meatballs to soak up the flavors. Serve. Serve your kjøttkaker with mashed potatoes, boiled potatoes, or a side of vegetables. The gravy is an essential part of the dish and makes it even more delicious. Enjoy your homemade Norwegian kjøttkaker. Pølse med lompe, a classic Norwegian street food, a sausage served in a soft flatbread, often topped with mustard. Pølse med lompe is a classic and beloved Norwegian street food that consists of a sausage, pølse, served in a soft flatbread, lompe. It's simple yet delicious, often served with a variety of toppings. Here's how to make it. Ingredients for pølse med lompe. For the sausage: hot dog sausages, or any type of sausage of your choice, such as pork, beef, or chicken sausages. Water, for boiling, if you're boiling the sausages. Butter or oil, for frying, if you prefer fried sausages. For the lompe, soft flatbread. 500 g all-purpose flour. 250 milliliters milk, lukewarm. 25 g butter, melted. 1 teaspoon salt. 1 teaspoon sugar. 1 tablespoon dry yeast, or 25 g fresh yeast. Water, as needed. For toppings, optional but popular: ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, crispy fried onions, pickles, sauerkraut, relish. Instructions. Making the lompe, flatbread. Activate the yeast. In a small bowl, mix the yeast with a bit of lukewarm water and sugar. Let it sit for about 5 minutes until it becomes bubbly. Make the dough. In a large bowl, mix the flour and salt. Add the activated yeast mixture, milk, and melted butter. Stir until it forms a dough. Add water if the dough is too dry. Knead the dough. Knead the dough for about 5 to 10 minutes, or until smooth and elastic. Let the dough rise. Cover the bowl with a clean cloth and let the dough rise for about 1 hour or until it has doubled in size. Form the flatbreads. Once the dough has risen, divide it into small portions. Roll each portion into a ball and then roll each ball into a flat circle, about the size of a plate. You can use a rolling pin for this, but you can also shape them by hand. Cook the lompe. Heat a dry skillet or frying pan over medium heat. Cook each flatbread for about 1 to 2 minutes on each side until lightly browned and cooked through. Cool and wrap. Allow the lompe to cool slightly before using. It should remain soft and flexible. Prepare the sausages. Boiling. Boil the sausages in water according to the package instructions, usually about 5 to 7 minutes. Alternatively, you can grill or fry them for extra flavor and texture. Frying, optional. Heat a little oil or butter in a frying pan and fry the sausages until they are nicely browned on all sides. Assemble the Pølse med lompe. Take a lompe, flatbread, and place a hot sausage in the middle. Add your preferred toppings like ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, fried onions, pickles, and sauerkraut. Serving. Pølse med lompe is typically enjoyed as a quick snack or meal, often eaten on the go or at outdoor events. The combination of the soft, warm flatbread with the savory sausage and toppings makes it a comforting and delicious treat. Enjoy your Norwegian Pølse med lompe. Vaffel, Norwegian waffles, often served with jam, sour cream, or brown cheese. These can be found at many street vendors. Vaffel, Norwegian waffles, is a beloved treat in Norway, known for its soft, crispy texture and typically heart-shaped design. These waffles are often enjoyed with a variety of toppings such as jam, sour cream, or brown cheese. Here's a recipe to make traditional Norwegian vaffel at home. Ingredients for Norwegian vaffel: 2 eggs, 2 cups, 240 g, all-purpose flour, half a cup, 120 g, sugar, 1 teaspoon baking powder, half a teaspoon salt, 1 1/4 cups, 300 milliliters, milk, half a cup, 120 g, butter, melted, or you can use oil, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, optional, half a teaspoon cardamom, optional, for flavor. Instructions. Prepare the waffle batter. In a large mixing bowl, whisk the eggs and sugar until the mixture is light and fluffy. In a separate bowl, combine the flour, baking powder, salt, and optional cardamom. Gradually add the dry ingredients into the egg mixture, stirring well to combine. Slowly pour in the milk, continuing to stir until the batter is smooth. Add the melted butter and vanilla extract, if using, and mix until everything is well incorporated. Preheat the waffle iron. Preheat your waffle iron according to the manufacturer's instructions. If it requires oil or butter to prevent sticking, lightly grease it before use. Cook the waffles. Once the waffle iron is ready, pour a small amount of batter onto the center of the iron. Close the lid and cook according to your waffle iron's instructions, usually for about 3 to 5 minutes, until the waffles are golden brown and crispy. Carefully remove the waffles and set them aside to cool slightly. Repeat with the remaining batter. Serve. Traditional Norwegian waffles are often served with a variety of toppings, such as jam, strawberry, raspberry, or cloudberry jam, sour cream, brunost, Norwegian brown cheese, sliced or grated, powdered sugar for a light dusting, fresh berries or whipped cream for extra sweetness. Koldtbord, an assortment of meats, cheeses, and breads often served as a quick meal in street cafes or at festivals. Koldtbord is a traditional Norwegian cold buffet that typically features a variety of cold meats, cheeses, bread, and accompaniments. It's a popular dish served during holidays, celebrations, and special gatherings. The spread is known for its variety and is often enjoyed as a light meal, either for lunch or dinner, accompanied by drinks and good company. Ingredients for a classic Koldtbord: cold meats. Lox, smoked salmon, a Norwegian favorite, often served thinly sliced. Røkelaks, cured salmon similar to smoked salmon, but it has a different curing process and is often served in thin slices. Speakmat, cured meats, a selection of cured meats such as Fenneler, cured leg of lamb, a salted, air-dried lamb. Skink, cured ham often thinly sliced. Salami or serrano ham, if you prefer a variety of flavors. Cheeses. Brunost, brown cheese, a soft, sweet cheese made from goat's milk, known for its caramel-like flavor. Jarlsberg, a mild, semi-soft cheese with a nutty flavor. Gammelost, a strong, aged cheese, often served in small portions. Other cheeses, such as a hard cheese like Norwegian or cheddar for variety. Breads. Rugbrød, rye bread, dense, hearty rye bread, often served as a base for toppings. Knekkebrød, crisp bread, thin, crunchy crackers that can be used with various spreads. White bread or wheat bread, soft, sliced bread as an option for lighter textures. Pickles and condiments. Syltetøy, jam, common jams for bread or cheese, such as strawberry, raspberry, or cloudberry jam. Pickled cucumbers or pickled herring, sursiled pickles add a nice tangy contrast to the meats and cheeses. Mustard, often served alongside cured meats, particularly with salami or ham. Butter, softened butter for spreading on bread. Accompaniments. Hard-boiled eggs, often sliced and served with the spread. Olives, a few olives for a Mediterranean touch. Fresh vegetables, such as cucumber slices, tomatoes, and radishes. Fresh herbs, dill or parsley, are common garnish choices for fish and meats. Drinks. Beer, a light Norwegian lager or a dark beer, is often served with Koldtbord. Aquavit, a traditional Scandinavian spirit, typically served in small shots. Juices or soft drinks, for a non-alcoholic option. Assembly. To create a Koldtbord, arrange the cold meats, cheeses, bread, pickles, and other sides on large platters or trays. It's common to have everything laid out buffet style so guests can serve themselves. Meats and cheeses, place a variety of cured meats, smoked fish, and cheeses on different platters. Breads and crackers, serve alongside the meats with rye bread, soft bread, and crisp bread. Pickles and condiments, set small bowls of pickled cucumbers, pickled herring, jams, and mustards in the center. Vegetables and eggs, offer fresh vegetables and sliced hard-boiled eggs as garnish options. Serving. Koldtbord is traditionally served as a buffet for guests to pick and choose what they want, making it perfect for gatherings. It's a flexible meal and can be adjusted according to personal preferences or what's available. Røkelaks, smoked salmon served in a sandwich or wrap, often with dill, mustard, and onions. Røkelaks is smoked salmon, a popular and beloved ingredient in Norwegian cuisine. It is often enjoyed in a variety of ways, such as in sandwiches, on crisp bread, or as part of a larger spread like Koldtbord. The salmon is typically cured and smoked, which gives it a distinct, rich flavor. Here's a bit more about how Røkelaks is made and how it's typically served. Ingredients for Røkelaks, smoked salmon. If you want to make Røkelaks at home, you'll need the following ingredients. For curing the salmon: 1 whole side of fresh salmon, about 1 to 1.5 kilograms. 3 tablespoons sea salt. 1 tablespoon sugar, you can use brown sugar for a deeper flavor. 1 tablespoon crushed black pepper, optional, for added flavor. Fresh dill, optional, for flavoring. For smoking: wood chips, like alder or oak, for smoking. Alder is traditional in Norway and gives a mild, delicate flavor. Equipment: smoker, or you can use a grill with a smoking box. Sharp knife, for slicing the smoked salmon thinly. Instructions for making Røkelaks. Curing the salmon. Start by cleaning the salmon, removing the bones, and patting it dry. In a bowl, mix the sea salt, sugar, and crushed black pepper, if using. You can also add chopped fresh dill for additional flavor. Rub the curing mixture evenly over the flesh of the salmon, ensuring it is well coated. Place the salmon on a tray or dish, cover it with plastic wrap, and let it sit in the fridge for at least 12 hours, or up to 24 hours, to cure. During this time, the salt will draw out moisture and firm up the flesh of the fish. Smoking the salmon. After curing, rinse off the salt mixture under cold water and pat the salmon dry with paper towels. Preheat your smoker to a low temperature, about 70 degrees Celsius or 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and add your choice of wood chips. Place the salmon in the smoker and smoke it for about 2 to 3 hours, or until the salmon has reached your desired level of smokiness. You want the salmon to be fully cooked through, but still moist and tender. Let the smoked salmon cool before slicing. Slicing the Røkelaks. Once the smoked salmon has cooled, use a sharp knife to slice it thinly against the grain. The slices should be delicate and translucent, which is characteristic of high-quality smoked salmon. Lefse, a traditional soft flatbread made from potatoes, flour, and butter, sometimes filled with sugar and cinnamon. Lefse is a traditional Norwegian flatbread, and there are several variations of it, depending on the region. It's a versatile bread, often served as part of a meal or as a sweet treat, and it can be enjoyed with a variety of toppings. The most common types of lefse are potato lefse, which is soft and pliable, and flatbread, which is crisp and thin. Here's a recipe for potato lefse, which is one of the most popular types. Ingredients for lefse, potato version. 2 cups mashed potatoes, about 4 medium potatoes, boiled and mashed without butter or milk. 1/4 cup butter, melted. 1/4 cup heavy cream or milk. 1/2 tsp salt. 2 cups all-purpose flour, plus extra for rolling out the dough. 1 teaspoon baking powder, optional for a slightly puffier texture. 1 tablespoon sugar, optional, if you want a slightly sweet lefse. Instructions for making lefse. Prepare the mashed potatoes. Peel and boil the potatoes until they are soft, about 15 to 20 minutes. Drain and mash them thoroughly. Let the mashed potatoes cool down to room temperature. It's important that they're not too hot when you mix them with the other ingredients. Make the dough. In a large bowl, combine the cooled mashed potatoes, melted butter, heavy cream or milk, and salt. Mix well. Gradually add the flour and mix until a soft dough forms. If you're using baking powder, you can add it with the flour. You may need to adjust the flour slightly, depending on the moisture of your mashed potatoes. If you prefer a slightly sweet version, you can add the tablespoon of sugar to the dough. Chill the dough. Once the dough is ready, divide it into small portions, about 8 to 10 balls. Wrap each ball in plastic wrap and refrigerate for at least 30 minutes to firm up the dough. This will make it easier to roll out. Roll out the lefse. Sprinkle a clean surface with flour, and roll out each portion of dough into a thin, round shape, about 1/8 inch thick. You can use a rolling pin or a special lefse rolling pin with grooves. If you find the dough is sticky, dust it lightly with flour as you roll. Cook the lefse. Heat a large, flat griddle or skillet over medium-high heat. It should be hot but not smoking. Carefully place each rolled-out round of dough onto the griddle. Cook for about 1 to 2 minutes on each side, or until light golden brown spots appear. Flip carefully with a spatula, and cook the other side until golden. You don't want the lefse to get too dark or crisp. It should remain soft. Cool the lefse. Once cooked, transfer the lefse to a clean towel and cover it to keep warm. Repeat with the remaining dough portions. Stekt potet, deep-fried potato chunks or wedges, commonly found at food trucks or market stalls. Stekt potet is a simple yet delicious dish of fried potatoes, a common side dish in Norwegian cuisine. The potatoes are typically fried in butter or oil until golden and crispy on the outside, while staying soft on the inside. It's a versatile dish that pairs well with meat, fish, or served with a variety of sauces and accompaniments. Ingredients for stekt potet, fried potatoes. 6 to 8 medium potatoes, waxy potatoes like Yukon Gold or new potatoes work best. 2 to 3 tablespoons butter, or a mix of butter and oil for frying. Salt, to taste. Pepper, to taste. Fresh herbs, such as parsley, thyme, or rosemary, optional. 1 small onion, optional, for added flavor. Garlic, optional, for extra aroma. Instructions for making stekt potet. Prepare the potatoes. Peel the potatoes, if desired, or leave the skin on for a more rustic version. Cut the potatoes into evenly sized cubes or wedges. The size of the pieces can vary based on personal preference, but about 1-inch cubes or wedges work well for frying. Parboil the potatoes, optional but recommended. To ensure the potatoes cook evenly and get crispy, you can parboil them first. Place the potato pieces in a pot of cold, salted water. Bring to a boil and cook for about 5 to 8 minutes until the potatoes are just slightly tender but not fully cooked. Drain the potatoes and allow them to steam dry for a few minutes. This will help them crisp up better when frying. Fry the potatoes. Heat the butter, and oil if using, in a large frying pan or skillet over medium heat. Add the potatoes to the pan, being careful not to overcrowd them. You may need to fry them in batches. Fry the potatoes for about 10 to 15 minutes, turning occasionally, until they are golden brown and crispy on all sides. If you're using onion or garlic, you can add it to the pan during the last few minutes of frying, to avoid burning the garlic and to give the dish a more fragrant aroma. Season the potatoes. Once the potatoes are crispy and golden, season them with salt and pepper to taste. If desired, sprinkle chopped fresh herbs like parsley, thyme, or rosemary over the potatoes just before serving to add a fresh, aromatic flavor. Serve. Serve the stekt potet hot as a side dish with meat, fish, or vegetables. It's often paired with dishes like kjøttkaker, meatballs, stekt kjøtt, fried meat, or grilled fish. Pizza slice. Like many places in Europe, pizza slices are often sold from food trucks or kiosks. A pizza slice is a classic, universally loved dish that typically consists of a portion of a whole pizza, cut into triangular or square shapes. While pizza toppings can vary greatly, a basic slice usually features a dough base, tomato sauce, cheese, and a variety of toppings. Here's a general recipe for a delicious homemade pizza slice. Basic pizza slice recipe. Ingredients for the dough: for one pizza, typically 8 slices. 2¼ teaspoons active dry yeast, 1 packet. 1 teaspoon sugar. 1½ cups warm water, 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 45 degrees Celsius. 3½ cups all-purpose flour. 1 tablespoon olive oil, plus extra for greasing. 1 teaspoon salt. 1 teaspoon dried oregano, optional, for flavor. 1 tablespoon cornmeal, optional, for dusting. For the pizza sauce: 1 can, 14 ounces, crushed tomatoes. 1 tablespoon olive oil. 1 teaspoon garlic powder, or 1 clove fresh garlic, minced. 1 teaspoon dried oregano. ½ teaspoon salt. ½ teaspoon sugar, optional, to balance acidity. Fresh basil, optional, for extra flavor. For the toppings: 2 cups shredded mozzarella cheese. Additional toppings, such as pepperoni, mushrooms, bell peppers, onions, olives, sausage, or any preferred ingredients. Instructions. Prepare the pizza dough. Activate the yeast. In a bowl, mix the warm water, sugar, and yeast. Stir well and let it sit for about 5 minutes until the yeast becomes frothy and bubbly. Mix the dough. In a separate large bowl, combine the flour, salt, and oregano, if using. Add the yeast mixture and olive oil to the flour and mix until it forms a dough. Knead the dough. Transfer the dough to a lightly floured surface and knead it for about 8 to 10 minutes until it's smooth and elastic. First rise. Place the dough in a lightly oiled bowl, cover with a damp towel or plastic wrap, and let it rise in a warm place for 1 to 1.5 hours or until it has doubled in size. Prepare the pizza sauce. Cook the sauce. In a saucepan, heat the olive oil over medium heat. Add the garlic, if using, and cook for 1 minute. Add the crushed tomatoes, salt, oregano, and sugar, if using, and simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes to allow the flavors to meld together. Add fresh basil for extra flavor. Cool the sauce. Let the sauce cool slightly before spreading it on your dough. Assemble the pizza. Preheat the oven. Preheat your oven to 475 degrees Fahrenheit, 245 degrees Celsius. If using a pizza stone, let it preheat in the oven as well. Shape the dough, punch down the risen dough, and transfer it to a floured surface. Roll it out into a large round or rectangular shape, depending on your preference, using a rolling pin or your hands. Add the sauce. Spread a thin layer of pizza sauce evenly over the dough, leaving a border for the crust. Top the pizza. Sprinkle a generous amount of shredded mozzarella cheese over the sauce. Add any other desired toppings, like pepperoni, bell peppers, onions, mushrooms, olives, or sausage. Bake the pizza. Bake. Place the pizza on a baking sheet, or a preheated pizza stone, and bake in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes, or until the crust is golden and crispy and the cheese is bubbly and melted. Check for doneness. Keep an eye on the pizza during the last few minutes to prevent it from burning, especially the crust. Slice and serve. Once baked, remove the pizza from the oven and let it cool for a few minutes. Use a pizza cutter or a sharp knife to slice the pizza into 8 even slices. Serve with extra toppings like red pepper flakes, parmesan, or fresh basil.